Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains episode summary analysis video. So, I knew we would get some episode summaries this weekend. I was kind of hoping we would get these summaries for episodes 2, 3, and 4. I knew we would definitely get at least episode 2 summaries, or episode 2 summary, I should say. But we only got the summaries for 2 and 3. We actually did get the name for episodes 4 and 5, but there's no information, as you can see from this picture, based on those informations. We just know the title. And I guess we can kind of assume things that might happen based on the name of the episode. But I'm going to read you episode 2 summary and episode 3 summary, and I want to hear from you guys really down below, and I will talk to you in the comment section. So here is episode 2, Catch the Wind, Storm Access. Yusaku manages to capture the mysterious life form as he chases after the Knights of Hanoi. In order to defeat them, he logs into the VR space network, Link VRains as playmaker. He commenced a duel, holding the life form as a hostage. However, the life form predicted that Yusaku can't win with his deck and performed a certain action, ... Episode 3, First Contact. Yusaku begins to examine the information hidden in the mysterious life form. Meanwhile, after his duel against the Knights in the network, he became famous as the hero who saved Link VRains. Learning that the life form is with Playmaker, Soul Technology sets up an operation to take it back, ... And then episode 4's name is Charisma Duelist Go Onizuka, and episode 5 is The Riding 3 Count. So that is awesome. I was, everyone was like, oh my god, 6 more days when the trailer dropped, 5 more days, there's no way I'm going to be able to make it. And I kept commenting to people, and I was like, well, we should get some summaries to kind of hold off the hype a little bit. To be honest, I'm taking pros and cons from this, and the pro is that we are really getting right into things. I mean, really jumping right into the plot. The con is, I feel like, by the way, I just woke up. If my voice sounds a little rasped, that's why. The con is, I feel like we're not then again, it's the first 3 episodes. I can't really complain, genuinely. I just feel like we're not moving much in the first 3 episodes, and I kind of wanted, some specificness. Do you know what I mean? I kind of wanted, like, some names to be thrown around, like, who is Yusaku gonna duel? Like, we know in the first episode, we saw the first episode preview, we saw Aoi as Blue Angel, and we saw Go get very nervous about things. On that big board, it seemed like maybe someone was making an announcement and hacking into it, and then we see Cracking Dragon along with that mysterious knight, breaking through the Link VRains, it almost seemed, and I'm assuming that's who Yusaku is gonna duel, and that's why by episode 3, he's going to be known as the hero who saved Link VRains, which they kind of gave away a little bit, because remember, the early information that we got is that Yusaku was famous in the Link VRains world for saving the Link VRains by defeating the hacker group, the Knights of Hanoi. That was a very early piece of information we got back in, I think, like January or February. I think it was actually February's V-Jump, or maybe it was even March's, because I mean, it's really delayed. I mean, we're in May now. I think it was actually definitely March's. And so we thought that was going to be what happened before VRains started, but instead it's what happened in the first 3 episodes, which is why I feel like that's why maybe I feel like it's not progressing, because we already knew this. We already knew Yusaku was going to be seen as a hero. I would have liked, and what I mean by specificness is I would have just liked to see a name thrown around. I would have liked to see them saying the mysterious knight, but I mean, it does say in episode 3 summary, after his duel against the Knights in the network. So if he in the first 2 episodes defeats Yusaku defeats the Cracking Dragon Knight of Hanoi, along with Revolver, along with Spectre or Bishop in some like crazy 3-on-1 duel. It's like, how does he really advance from there, Yusaku? But besides that, going into a little more specific details, the life form, which has a very annoying voice, by the way. It's the voice that in the preview speaks from like episode 9 or seconds 9 to 12. If you want to watch the preview, you'll know the voice immediately. It seems like he might be more of a comic relief character than anything else, which I guess is fine. It'll be interesting to see the relationship between those two. Yusaku can't win with his deck and performed a certain action, so I wonder if he enhances Yusaku's deck, because we know Yusaku defeats the Knights in the next episode, so I'd imagine he's not gonna perform a certain action that sets Yusaku back. I imagine he is going to help Yusaku Fujiki. He's holding this life form hostage. And then in episode 3, the final line, learning that the life form is with Playmaker, Soul Technology sets up an operation to take it back. So it doesn't seem like the Knights and Soul Technology are working together. It seems like the Knights are kind of an unorthodox hacker group, which is what they were said to be. Whereas Soul Technology is the big monstrous corporation like the Leo Corporation or the Kaiba Corporation that is that has created this technology, obviously by their name, that created the VRains and is doing their own thing to try to get it back. Maybe well respected in the eyes of the public, but there's some underhandedness going on in the background. So it'll be very interesting, those first 3 episodes. I'm sure we'll get good backstory, hopefully with Yusaku right off the bat. I'm just glad, because we're not really moving much, you know what I mean? There's nothing, to be honest, in these first 3 episodes besides the general excitement of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains beginning that makes me say like, oh wow, I can't wait to see this. Then again, it's the first 3 episodes, so, you know, it is what it is. Episode 4, Charisma Duelist Go Onizuka. We have no information on this. We probably will not get any information on this episode for quite some time, for at least a couple of weeks. So it's the first episode that Yoshida is not scripting, which is kind of interesting to note. It will be Takigama Junki, so if anyone knows of him, you know, let me know down below. And I imagine this will be Go Onizuka maybe thanking Yusaku for saving Link VRains and wanting to challenge the now hero of the Link VRains world. So that could be maybe the first time Yusaku and Go even interact, and I imagine we will have a duel involving Yusaku and Go Onizuka in episode 4. In episode 5, the ringing 3 count. I think when I actually first read it, I might have said the riding 3 count, but the ringing 3 count, which is actually, it makes perfect sense. I just realized that is absolutely a wrestling reference. It's an absolute wrestling reference because, again, 1, 2, 3, and you're pinned. And so, Go Onizuka here is in a very interesting spot because it looks like he might duel Yusaku for 2 episodes, which is pretty interesting. It's a pretty lengthy duel for the first few episodes, you know, usually you have a lot of one-shot duels, not one-shot duels, but like 1-episode duels in the beginning of the show. I'll say this, I really will say this, if Go Onizuka pulls off a win, because keep in mind, almost every Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist has lost within the first 8 episodes or so. I actually think every character but Yusei has lost in the first 8 episodes. And I asked a Twitter poll. I'll try to pull up the results of that poll. Thank you to everyone for voting a while back. And you can see how split the community is on this because in one hand, you have a very Yusei-esque protagonist that might not lose right off the bat. On the other hand, it's happened to every Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist. It technically did happen to Yugi with Pegasus, Judai with Ryo Marufuji or Zane Truesdale in the dub. Just did not happen with Yusei if you don't count the flashback against Jack, which I don't count because it wasn't on screen. Yuma with Bronk, with, I think, Shark. I think, you know, it was a few different characters with Yuma. And you had Yugioh with Yuzu. So, in the first 8 episodes, and again, it doesn't really mean much because you look at the characters that have beaten the protagonist and it's like, alright, I mean, they're all kind of genuine except maybe like Bronk from Zexal, and then, you know, we know what happened with Yuzu from Arc 5. But if Go somehow pulls off a win, which I'm not saying he will, but it's interesting that they named episode 5 that, as if like, he is going to pull off a win because, you know, we've seen the wrestling references made by his voice actor saying Go is going to be like Shawn Michaels, and most likely when, you know, he said that in the interview, which was right when his voice actor got announced like a few weeks ago. They're again probably like 10, 11 episodes into VRains already, I would imagine, or they're definitely pretty far into it. So maybe he knows that Go Onizuka is going to pull off a win against Yusaku, which would shock me. I think it would shock the community. And so that will be a very interesting thing to keep an eye on. Very excited for that, but we still have over a month for that to happen. So anyway, guys, definitely exciting. I feel like it's not moving too much in the first 3 episodes, but hey, what are you gonna do? We're getting a duel, we're getting to see Link monsters, we're getting to see these characters, and it's the first 3 episodes, so you're not gonna hear me complain about that. I'm just very excited for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains to begin. Let me know all your thoughts down below. I will chat with you in the comment section. Q&A video should be out tomorrow afternoon, so I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Do have some pretty major announcements regarding my future on that Q&A. So thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day.